This film story is about the ghost of a girl whose ghost lives in a hotel room. Whoever comes in this room, the ghost of the girl used to kill him. In this way, she killed many people. Now she felt as if she was betrayed, for which she was taking revenge on everyone. But the reality was something else. Now what was that reality? To know the story of that ghost girl, let's move towards the story, which starts by showing a hotel whose name was Amber Hotel. Here was the first day of a lady worker who came for the job. After coming inside the hotel, she met the owner of the hotel. Her name was Suffocating, and she told the lady worker to clean the second floor and tells her 2 to 3 times not to go to the third floor because there was renovation work going on and it is being demolished. So you always have to stay away from there. Now, when the lady worker was cleaning the second floor, she heard someone crying for the third floor. So despite refusing, she goes to the third floor. She also opened the door of the corridor, and now, standing in front of such a room while following the sound, which was the most different. That is, the hotel number was not written on it, and the sound of crying was coming from this room. So to check, the lady worker opens the door. A woman was sitting inside the room who was completely white. That is, her skin, her hair, everything was white. And now, when she sees the lady worker, she stops crying and says a line, 3 nights and midnight. Now, this line was dangerous for the lady worker, so she goes away from there. Now, what does 3 nights and midnight mean? We will find out later. Now, after 3 days, the lady worker tells her daughter that since I have seen that girl with white skin, strange things are happening to me. Like a man from our neighborhood put a screwdriver in his foot, and my aunt also took her life. Our cat also died for no reason, and I feel very strange about all these things. After hearing all this, her daughter says that, Mom, this is just your delusion because the man in our neighborhood is not mentally stable. So he did this. Let's talk about your aunt. She was admitted to a mental hospital for a long time. So she took her life due to madness. And the cat, it was destined to die because it was too old. So you can relax. There's nothing like that. But if you're still scared, then you should pray before going to sleep. Now, the lady worker cannot say anything to her daughter. And her daughter leaves, and the lady worker goes to her room and starts praying. But we see that the same white girl comes out of the mirror and follows the lady worker. The white girl starts moving towards her, starts scaring her, but the lady worker cannot see her. As soon as the lady worker went to sleep at 12 o'clock in the night, the white girl goes to her room and takes out all her skin without any mercy and takes her life mercilessly. Hearing the voice of the lady worker, her daughter came there and saw her mom like this. She gets very scared and starts crying and screaming. And this scene ends here. Now, after 3 days, we see 2 sisters. The elder sister's name was Raina. After their father's death, they were going to their grandfather and grandmother. Their grandmother was no one else, but the owner of Amber Hotel, Suffocating. Amber Hotel was the last sign of their father. So they came to live there with their grandfather and grandmother. As soon as they reached the hotel, their grandmother, Suffocating, and grandfather welcomed them very well. Everyone is very happy to meet each other. Suffocating says to Raina, while giving some things to her dad, that for now on you have to handle the hotel, for which Raina agrees, because she has to run this hotel somehow. The reason is that now her sister's responsibility was on Raina, whose accommodation expenses and college fees were on Raina. Suffocating also explains to Raina and her sister that you can go anywhere in the hotel except the 3rd floor. So it is forbidden to go there because of the renovation work, and the workers are on leave, so it is not okay to go there. Raina also gets her sister's admission in the school, and when she starts going from there, she meets her old friend who used to like each other before, and that boy was also a reporter. He tells Raina to take care of herself. Because he was a reporter, so he was investigating the death of a woman who was murdered, and she is no one else but the first lady worker. He tells that I'm investigating this case, and today I am going to the place where that lady used to work so that I can get any evidence there. And when he tells her that that lady used to work in Amber Hotel, Raina is very shocked to hear this, because it was their hotel where she had come to stay. But her grandmother, Suffocating, had hidden the death of the lady worker from her. So now that reporter comes to Amber Hotel with Raina. He asks Suffocating how long has that lady worker been working here. Suffocating tells him that she had only been here for a few days, but we do not know what happened to her. This time the reporter decides to stay in the hotel so that he can collect more evidence. Here Raina gets upset with her grandfather and grandmother. Now, why did you not tell us about this? Suffocating tells her that, my child, because you have just experienced the death of your father, so we did not tell you. so that you do not get more worried. Raina's sister is saying prayer at night, and she also tells Raina to have faith in God and pray. When Raina was standing outside her room, she saw the light on from her room on the 3rd floor, so she goes there to check who is there and who turned on the light, because there should have been no one there, as Suktini had told. Like the lady worker, Raina also tries to open the corridor door, but when she sees that it is locked, she breaks it and comes in. She also hears the girl crying from the room in front of her. As soon as she opened the door, that white girl was sitting inside. She, after seeing Raina, says 3 nights and midnight. Raina does not do anything and quietly leaves from there, because she felt that maybe this girl is a guest of the hotel, but she kept thinking about that line all night. The next day, when she went to drop her sister to school, it was written on the car that the first day, which then disappeared. But this thing puts Raina in trouble, so she talks to Suktini about it. She asks Suktini about 3 nights and midnight. She tells that last night, I saw a lamp burning from a room on the 3rd floor. Then when I went there, I heard a girl crying. Then I went to check the guest in that room, whether she was fine. Here Raina's mind was also asking a question, that if someone was living on the 3rd floor, then why did Suktini say that renovation work is being done there, and there is no one there? But after hearing all her talks, Suktini gets very scared. It was clear to see her that she knows the terrible secret of the 3rd floor. That is why she used to stop everyone from going there. But now that Raina had gone there, Suktini was very scared even thinking about it. She didn't understand anything at this time. Now what should I tell Raina? And Raina leaves from there. Now Raina goes to drop her sister's school. After they left, her husband came to Suktini. He tells her that today the police are going to come to our hotel, because lady worker's daughter has told the police everything that happened to her here. So the police want to come and investigate. Hearing this, Suktini, being sad, tells that nothing can be done now, because Raina has also gone to the 3rd floor, and she has opened that room. Hearing this, her husband also gets very scared. Both get into thinking that what will we do now? The news of the lady worker's death had spread everywhere. The police had also come here to investigate. And when all the guests find out about this, they start going from there. There was also a reporter here, and he was investigating everything. Even then Raina comes here. Now a phone bell rings, which Raina picks up. She was told to send a towel to that room. So now Raina goes to give the towel. She saw that there is no one in the room, but now the sound of crying from the bathroom is coming. And when she went to check the bathroom, there was no one there. Now the bell of the room phone rings, which Raina picks up again. Someone was saying that if she is not in the bathroom and not in the room, then think where she is hiding in the room. Hearing this, Raina gets very scared. She quickly calls the reception and asks who is staying in this room. And she finds out that there is no one in this room. That room is empty. Upon checking, Raina sees the same girl walking behind the curtains. Seeing that, the girl now comes under the carpet and quickly starts moving towards Raina. Raina had seen her. She was a girl with white hair whose eyes were red, and she was looking very scary. Seeing her, Raina got very scared. She quickly comes out of the room. Then the reporter also came here, who calms Raina down. Raina tells her everything that just happened to her. When the reporter went inside the hotel, everything was just like that. That is, everything was normal there. There was nothing like that, which Raina was telling. Now, after hearing what happened to Raina, all the staff of the hotel also leave their jobs and go from there. So now the helpless Suktini and her husband have to tell everything to Raina and her husband. They say that 6 years ago, when our financial situation was not good, then your dad, our son, told us that he had bought this hotel. So if we want, we can live here. And the money we got from here, we can take our expenses from him. But when we came to this hotel, its condition was not good at all. So we got the whole hotel renovated. And when a worker was lighting up on the 3rd floor, he also heard a girl crying in the room without that number. Then he also opened the door to check. And inside, he also found that white girl, seeing whom he also said 3 nights and midnight. After this, it was strange with that worker for 3 days. And then at midnight on the 3rd day, that is at 12 o'clock, he died. Then they tell the meaning of 3 nights and midnight. They say that it means that whoever that girl said this to, it will be strange with him for the first 3 days. And then at midnight on the 3rd night, that is at 12 o'clock, he will die badly. From this, it is obvious that that white girl must be killing, as happened with that worker. He hit his head on the wall at 12 o'clock and badly separated his head from the body. A head He said that after the death of the worker, we called a shaman in the hotel, who does the work of driving ghosts and spirits, where the shaman was also so scared that he did not have the courage to go to that room. That is why the shaman told us that we should always keep this room closed, so that anyone can see or hear the ghost of that white girl who lives in this room, and no one can come here to kill that girl. The ghost of the girl was captured here because it was her room from the beginning, which means it was clear that it was impossible to remove her ghost from there. And this was the reason that they kept the entire third floor closed. It was forbidden for anyone to go there. But as soon as that lady worker opened the room, it started happening. Hearing all this, Raina and the reporter get very worried. But here Raina starts worrying about her sister instead of thinking about herself and says that I am worried about her now. We have to somehow stop her from going to that room. Do not let her go there. She should not go there at any cost. Raina's sister is shown in the school. When she went to the lab to get some necessary equipment, she also starts hearing strange voices. And then the statue kept there comes back to life. It starts moving from here to there. It took a scissor and started moving towards Raina's sister. And again was saying that when you die, you will also feel the same pain that that white girl felt. Seeing this, she gets very scared. She came out screaming. Hearing her voice, people gather there. And when Raina's sister told the teacher that there's someone inside and the statues are moving, so the teacher went inside to check something. But there was nothing like that. Everything was normal. Everything was lying in its place. Raina's sister came home, where Raina first asked her one question. Did you go to that room on the third floor or not? On which her sister said that yes. I was also hearing someone crying from that room, so I went there to check her, where I saw a white girl sitting, and she told me 3 nights and midnight, which meant that now these two sisters have only 3 nights. So now know about that white girl. Raina and the reporter go to that shaman, who had sealed the 3rd floor. Shaman tells that the white girl has definitely hidden something, that she is unable to go to the afterlife despite her death. She is stuck in the world. And now if they want to know the truth, they will have to know the name of that girl. Because with the girl's name, they will be able to talk to her ghost. So now Raina and the reporter start thinking about the girl's name together. She remembers that Dad had said that I have a lot of secrets in my heart that I write in the novel. That's why Raina lets everyone read her dad's novel, because she was sure that somewhere in his novel, Dad must have written about that white girl or the past of this hotel. But no one gets anything in the novel, because of which Raina is very disappointed. And now she started moving towards that room alone to check it, because she was sure that something must be inside. As soon as she came out, the reporter and her sister also come here, who stop Raina from going inside, because her life can be in danger inside. Then Raina tells them that, look, if we don't do anything, then at midnight on the 3rd night, we have to die anyway. But if we try, who knows, we'll be saved. That's why Raina and her sister go inside, while the reporter stands outside, because he had not gone inside yet. So the curse of 3 nights and midnight could not work on him. After coming to the room, Raina and her sister get separated and start looking for evidence everywhere, where their eyes fall on a dry white flower. Raina's sister went to the bathroom to check her, where she sees the ghost of that boy in the mirror, who was scaring her. Raina went under the bed to check, where she found a piece of paper on which an angel was written, which Raina kept with her, and started going to her sister to show her. But she saw that my sister was possessed. That is, the girl's soul had entered into her body. Raina tries to bring her back to her senses, but now there was a face on her sister's head, so she attacks Raina. She hits her head on the wall and climbs on the wall. She was looking very scary. Hearing her scream, the reporter also came inside, where somehow he comes out of the same possession, but he himself was also quite injured. Now Raina's sister was completely fine, but then they saw the ghost of the white girl standing in front of them, which says again, 3 nights and a midnight, which she said for the reporter that now the curse had also gone on him, because he had come inside this room. But those 3 quickly run out of the room. Then they saw that it was 12 o'clock. That is, Raina and her sister's 2nd day had started, while today was the 1st day of the reporter, because of which the 3 started getting worried about their own lives. Raina tells the reporter that I think that room belonged to that girl. That is, she used to live there. Maybe Dad knew her and gave her to stay. That's when Raina shows the reporter and her grandfather and grandmother that piece of paper. Seeing her, Suktini and her husband also bring such pieces of paper, which they found under the bed of every room. There was the same writing on each piece. That is, it was a letter, which someone had cut into pieces and kept in each room of the hotel. That is, this thing was made like a game, like a puzzle. As soon as they joined it, a girl's name was written there, was Jasmine, which they think was definitely the name of that white girl. Jasmine. And this letter was written by Jasmine for Raina's dad. The letter said that I met Raina's dad for the first time near the pine tree, which is in the jungle. And that time was the best time for me, because after that I had a very good time with Raina's dad, and I want to be with him always in the same jungle, near the pine trees. It turned out that Jasmine was also calling Raina's dad Angel. Now, this makes people understand that if we go to the jungle near the pine trees, then we can definitely get some clue from there. That's why Raina and the reporter now go out to find the pine trees in the nearby jungle. Soon they found that place too, because along with the pine trees, a lot of white flowers had also grown. And this was the same place where Raina's dad and Jasmine used to meet. Raina comes here and starts remembering more things. According to the letter, they start heading north. They reach near a river where they saw a boatman coming here. He started asking that man, where did those white flowers actually grow? That is, where's their origin? Because it is possible that Jasmine is from that place. Then the boatman says that those flowers grow in our village. Our village is its origin, and the name of our village is White Flower Village. Hearing this, Raina and the reporter get a little happy, because they felt that maybe we are very close to the truth. That's why they asked the boatman for help, and asked him to take them to the head of the village's home. We had to talk about something important with him. The boatman helps them, and he brings them to the head's house. When Raina and the reporter start talking to the head, he tells them about the deaths in the hotel. But as soon as he tells the head about the face of the white girl Jasmine, that is, she is completely white, her eyes are red, the head gets very scared hearing this. And he sends them out and says that I don't want to talk about this, because I don't know anything. Now it was raining outside, and these people could not cross the river either. So the boatman tells them that tonight you stay here at my house. After coming inside, Raina gets very sad because she did not find any evidence here, and now they have only one day's time. Here Raina also tells the reporter that when my mom fell ill and my dad got cancer, I prayed a lot. But still God did not listen to me, did not help me, but snatched my parents from me. But forgetting everything, when I came to live here, I had to see everything here as well. The death of mine and my sister. She says that and started crying that. I do not understand what God is doing with me. Then the reporter explains to her that, look, if bad things are happening to you today, it means that God is preparing you for the bad time to come. So that if you ever get stuck in any trouble in the coming time, then do not give up. Rather, pray to God. Have faith in God. Now they're talking, and they hear the fight between the head and his wife, which made the reporter doubt that. The head's wife certainly knows something, and she is hiding it. Because when they were talking before, she saw the head's wife quietly listening to them. That's why they quietly enter the head's house, and they see that white girl Jasmine's painting there. And then the head's wife tells them that actually this girl is our daughter. So now they tell the boatman and the head's wife to tell everything. Then the boatman tells them that the real name of the white girl is Minoa, who was born in the house of the head at midnight. But she had a disease because of which her whole body was white, even her hair, her skin. That's why her name was put on those white flowers. The white flowers on which the name of this village was put. Because of Minoa's appearance, everyone bothered her. The children used to bully her. And often she used to say that he is not a human being, but a devil. Her dad used to beat her and lock her in the room. Because of her, his reputation in the village was decreasing. This is why Minoa started living alone. She used to make games in her mind. She used to play with her and dance. But as soon as 20 years passed, she ran away from home, and no one knows where she has run away. After knowing all this truth, Raina and the reporter returned to the hotel. And now that they had found out the real name of Minoa, that's why they call shaman in the hotel, where shaman talks to her soul by the name of Minoa and tells them that when Minoa ran away from her house, she went to the same jungle near those pine trees, where she met Raina's dad for the first time, where Raina's dad not only saved her life and helped her, but also gave her a room to live in his hotel. She also gave all her mother's jewelry to Minoa, because Raina's dad had no one other than the memories of her parents. And now, because he considered Minoa his closest person, so he gave all that to her, because of which Minoa also felt very good, because for the first time, no one had come so close to her by not looking at her face. Now, both started living in this hotel. As soon as they saw each other, they fell in love, because Raina's dad never let her realize that she was different from the rest, because of which she herself had forgotten that I am different from the rest. But then Raina's dad went to Jakarta for his business, and Minoa, behind him, kept waiting for him to return. Here he made that letter game for Raina's dad puzzle game. By cutting several pieces of this letter, he put it under the bed of every room. But many days had passed, and Raina's dad did not return. So Minower herself went to Jakarta and started looking for her dad. But there Minower saw Raina's dad with someone else. That is, he was engaged with her, and that girl was going to be the mother of his child, which means she understood that Raina's dad cheated on me. Because of this, the poor girl's heart broke. When she returned to the hotel, she took out all the skin of her body with a knife. Because by breaking her heart like this, Raina's dad made her realize that she was really different from the rest. She is not worthy of anyone, and no one can accept her. She will always be alone just because of her face. That's why she kept separating her skin from her body for 3 days. Then as soon as midnight came on the third night, she died in pain. Hearing this, Raina and the reporter were very sad and also very scared. And they asked Shaman that how can we fix all this? On which Shaman says that now you have to join Minower's broken heart. That is, now they have to find Minower's dead body somehow. In which they have to join Minower's dead body with something that works as a living thing. And Minower can forgive him. But when they ask Shaman that how will we do this work, that's when Minower's soul attacks Shaman. She holds his neck and separates his head from his body badly and kills him. The scene was very scary. And now seeing her real form, Raina and the reporter also get very scared. Raina was also in a lot of tension because they had very little time to fix everything. That's when Raina's sister's eyes fell under the bed and went to her dad's stuff. There was a book in it on which it was written white as jasmine. That is, her dad had written about Minower in this book. Reading the book, they found out that, actually, Raina's father didn't go to Jakarta for a meeting. In fact, he went to Minower to propose to her for marriage. He wanted to get a white flower ring made for her so that when he came back, he could surprise her and tell her how much he loved her, and then they would get married. But when he was coming out of the shop after buying the ring, he had an accident with a car. In the accident, Raina's dad had a deep injury in his brain, due to which his memory was lost. And the car in which he had an accident belonged to Suktini and her husband. That is, Raina's dad was not his real son. He had just adopted him and gave him the identity of his son, his name, and everything. So that's when Raina's dad started living with Suktinia and her husband. But then one day, he remembered everything that, why did I come here in the end? So he came back to the hotel quickly because he also loved Minower a lot. But by then, Minower's body was in a very bad state. It was rotten. And seeing this, Raina's dad was very sad. He broke down completely. And he keeps thinking all the time that, I wish I had told Minower everything that. I love you so much, and I'm going to surprise you. This would have happened that today. She would not have done this to herself, and they would have been together, and they would have got married. But now that Minower was dead, she was gone. That's why Raina's dad buries her body in a tunnel in the hotel's basement so that she can be freed. On the grave, he made the same picture of the white flower ring that he had made for Minower so that Minower's soul could rest in peace. And her grave is always here, where he made so many beautiful memories with Minower. After which Raina's dad went away from this hotel forever because he could not live his life by being in this sorrow. Seeing all this, Raina and her sister understood that. It means that dad had never cheated Minower. In fact, he loved her so much. But Minower died before he knew the truth. So now they have to somehow tell Minower the whole truth, where only then they will be able to remember Shaman's saying that they will have to connect Minower's body with something that can work as a living thing. And now this ring was going to work as a living thing, by which they could wear Minower's body and connect her broken heart, by which she also knew the truth, that Raina's dad loved her so much and never cheated her. After which Raina and the reporter come to the hotel's basement. They had come fully prepared so that they could find her grave inside the tunnel, after which they go separately in the tunnel and start looking for Minower's body. But then Minower's soul also comes here because she cannot let them do this work so easily. She possesses the reporter to waste their time. Through her, she tells Raina the wrong way. But Rojal Raina found out that the reporter is possessed, and the next moment, she attacks Raina, avoiding which she runs away from him. But Raina attacks the reporter in her defense and injures him, so that even if Minower possessed him, he could not come close to her. After which Raina starts looking for the grave again. She was also worried because now she had very little time left. It was going to be 12 o'clock soon. That's when Raina gets a letter from her grandfather and grandmother in her bag. Hey Raina, if you don't see any way, then you pray to God. See, then he will definitely help you. Because she is the last way God who definitely helps. So that's why Raina starts praying. She cries and prays to God. There, Raina's sister was also praying with her grandfather and grandmother because she was sure that only God can save us. And this also happens because after walking a little distance, Raina finds that grave, which Raina starts digging. And in a short while, she finds Minower's skeleton. But before Raina could put that ring in Minower's hand, the possessed reporter came here. He attacks Raina. She plays with her life and puts that ring in Minower's hand, due to which her corpse and living thing, that is, the elements, had met each other. As soon as this happened, Minower learned the whole truth. Her soul got peace, and now she goes from there. After a while, Raina and the reporter came out of the tunnel where they all met each other and became emotional and started crying because they felt that we all finally fixed everything together. Raina and the reporter told everything to the police that happened to them. Then the reporter came to talk to Raina. He says that I still love you and just want to stay with you. Saying this, he proposes to her for marriage. Raina also accepts it and says yes. The reporter was still in that hotel, and he was talking to Raina on the phone that tomorrow we will discuss our marriage. And now, as soon as the reporter switched off the phone, we see that once again Minower's soul comes out of the mirror. At this time, it was 12:00 clock. The 3 nights of the reporter were complete, and this was the time of midnight. That's why Minower takes out all his skin from his whole body and takes his life with great pain. Then one day, when Raina comes to wake him up from sleep, she is very scared to see the state of the reporter. She was also sad. She starts crying and was very worried that she was feeling that. We have fixed everything and Minower has gone. But in reality, nothing like this happens. The police and the ambulance came there, who were taking the dead body of the reporter. Raina and her sister on the roof were seeing this all. Here Raina asks her sister that if Minower had killed the reporter, why did she not kill us? Why did she leave you and me alive? Although she knows everything, why is she here in this world and is not going from here? On this, Raina's sister says no doubt. We fixed her heart by doing this. Still, Minower has not forgotten what others have done with her. They broke her heart and troubled her because of her body. It was only our dad who loved her and the others hated her and consider her bad. Now she will not go from there until she takes revenge on them. Maybe she will not go because she took her life in that room. Those who do this have no place in the afterlife. Their souls can never find peace, and they remain stuck in this world. Just look at Minower. She is stuck there. Hearing this all, Raina remains shocked. She thinks how my sister knows this all. Later, Raina's sister looks at Raina, whose eyes are fully red. It means Minower has possessed her, and whatever she said Minower was asking her to say. Later, she tells her, yes, your dad loved me truly. That is why I will not harm you for the rest of my life. I will not harm you because you both are his daughters. After this, Raina, her sister, with their grandparents, leave the hotel forever. Also, the police had sealed the hotel completely because there were so many deaths here. And now 2 policemen came to check the 3rd floor. They go to the same Minower room where the Minower was sitting inside. And as soon as she sees them, she says 3 nights and midnight. Means the same death line. That is, this situation was about to start in this hotel again. The Minower was going to stay in this hotel room forever. So they will keep killing people like this whoever comes here. That is, this thing was very dangerous. With this horrific ending, this movie ends here. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this movie and what other movies or documentaries you want me to review next. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.